Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thanks for joining us today. We seem to be doing quite a bit of this summer, so I'm going to take that as a good sign. Would like to thank Lynn Komorowski, our CEO, for joining us today. Jeff Perry and our extended family from Quicken Loans here with us today as well, so we've got great turnout. Kevin's agency, Excel Management, is represented here today also. This obviously is a really exciting time for this franchise. I'd like to point out and thank Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett and their representatives, Bill Duffy and Jeff Schwartz, for how they've carried themselves through this offseason. It was a very difficult time, I'm sure, for all of them. I know it was for all of us. They handled themselves with incredible professionalism. Andrew and Anthony are great young kids. We think they're going to have great careers, and we wish them nothing but the best. This is, again, something that's really special to all of us, and I appreciate Flip Saunders and Milt Newton for their role in making this happen. Again, from a professionalism standpoint, it was tremendous. Some of you probably see this as the culmination of a 60-day or 30-day period. From a basketball perspective, we kind of look at this as the culmination of a year and a half of trade conversations trying to acquire this man. We built a lot of momentum this offseason, starting with the lottery. That was then followed by Kyrie Irving making the decision to stay with the franchise on a full-time basis and on a permanent basis. I really believe that Kyrie's commitment to this franchise and his belief in our direction really started to create more of the momentum that we built on. Obviously, the coaching process that we went through, being able to hire David Blatt and then surrounding him with the assistants that we have, Tyronn Lue, Jim Boyle and Larry Drew, very exciting for us. And again, it just continues and perpetuates. And so here we are today with the arrival of Kevin Love, a player that, quite frankly, fits us as well as anybody possibly could have. When we brought David Blatt in to discuss our franchise and what he needed to be successful, the very first thing he said was, well, I need a spacing big, somebody that can shoot and pass and who knows how to play. And we said, well, we've got one of those in mind. His name's Kevin Love. He's a trade target. And he said, wow, Kevin Love would be amazing. And he said, if you could get Kevin Love to go with LeBron James, you would have had a really good offseason. At which time I said, let's take it a step at a time. We've been trying to get Kevin for over a year, so let's start there. LeBron obviously is somebody who makes a great deal of these things possible by his presence alone. His greatness as a player, his ability to make other people better and to put us in a position to win, I'm sure spoke greatly to Kevin. Obviously, it drives all of us. So that piece had a great deal to do with, I'm sure, Kevin's comfort in joining us and viewing this as a long-term relationship. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Kevin Love, who we believe you will be seeing for quite a long time.
Everybody look over here once. And he's all smiles. Today this official something that we heard speculating about talking about for over a month. Everybody good? Saturday. Now it's time to hear. We're gonna open right up to Q&A. So again, let us know who you are and what outlet you're with.
Hey, Kevin, Tom Withers, Associated Press, welcome. What does it mean, and this last year has been trying for you, what does it mean to go from kind of a rebuilding situation, non-playoff team, to an instant title contender?
Well, it means a lot. LeBron had, signed to come back with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and, just a few hours post, he called me and I said, you know what, I'm in. And, that had a lot to do with my decision. I knew that they had a lot of, they being the Cavaliers, had a lot of young pieces in place, a lot of great talent has accumulated here as well. I knew the city relatively well, but I mean, that had a lot to do with it. So, it really means a lot to be a part of this organization. I've had a few days here now and it's been quite a whirlwind as well, but the last few days, but getting to know the city, got my physicals out the way. I found out where I'm living. getting to know downtown a little bit more. The practice facility, been here a couple times to work out. So just trying to hit the ground running as fast as possible and see what I can do to help this organization win.
And if I could follow, now that you're here, how long are you going to stay?
Well, that is something that hasn't been talked about, but like I told Griff in our meetings and Dan Gilbert as well, and the powers that be in the front office and all the way down, that I'm committed to this team and committed long term to that end goal, and that's to win championships and to win a championship here in Ohio. So we know it's earned, not given, but every day is an opportunity for us to get better and try to seize that opportunity.
Hi, Kevin. John Telich, Fox 8. Welcome to Cleveland. Expound upon that point just a little bit more. On paper, everybody says you guys are the favorite to win the championship, but obviously, as you said, you have to earn things rather than have things given to you. How tough do you think it will be? How much time will it take to match with the talent that's here with LeBron and company?
Well, the end game is always tough, but I think the work that we're going to be able to put in every day and the culture that we'll have here and that Griff and Dan Gilbert and, as I mentioned, the powers that be have set up for us, that that culture is going to allow us to work every day, and for us that's going to be gratifying, and that's what I'm looking forward to is every day continuing to get better. So that's really what I'm looking forward to most. The season is right around the corner. I've been working the past few days, have talked to a number of players on the team, worked with James and Mike Miller today in the weight room, and it's been really a whirlwind for me, and I'm very happy to be here.
Bill Livingston, plain dealer. Kevin, do you see yourself shooting as many threes or on the block a little more, because you and LeBron are, you got a lot of stretch guys here. Just kind of wondering your thoughts about the fit.
I'll let Coach Blatt answer that for you. But no, getting to your question, I feel like I'm really going to be able to go out and play my game. I think that there'll still be a lot asked of me on the offensive end on the floor, as well as the other end as well. And it's going to be a lot of great opportunities for me because we have so many guys that can space the floor. We can play an inside-out game, myself included, LeBron included, and we just have different guys that fill different spots throughout the floor. That's going to make it a lot of fun to play basketball and come to work every day.
Just one follow-up. Your game has changed so much from when you were, a really inside force. Could you talk about that a little bit and why the value on space bigs these days?
I just think that's where the game is going. I mean, you've seen the European influence over the past 10 to 15 years in the NBA, and that's kind of I was the type of player that I always looked at number 41, and that's Dirk Nowitzki. So I loved his game. He was able to rebound, what he's done with his career, being 7 feet tall, being able to shoot the ball while still being able to be back to the basket. I knew that I would be a better commodity for any team in any system if I was as tall as I am, also being able to play inside and outside. I just mentioned I can fit any system, and I think that I will in Coach Blatt's.
Kevin, TJ Zuppi, 92.3 The Fan. The question everyone wants to know, why number 0?
Well, I was just talking to Griff about that. We have had some long discussions about the number, and all respects to Nate Thurman. I really appreciate him, pay my homage to him, for having the conversation of allowing me to wear number 42. But I thought this was a chance for me to, 1, start fresh, and 2, pick a new number that would suit me. So then I looked at 11, which is my Olympic number. Z had that number. So third one I was going to pick was number 7, because my mom had that as my lucky number growing up. So 7 was taken by bingo. So I went all the way back to my grassroots. And my first number I ever played with, I remember showing up to a game in Beaverton, Oregon with a brand new team in the inner city that I was supposed to play with. And I was the last guy to the gym for the tournament, and there was the 0 for me. So that's the story behind it, and I just decided that 0 was the right fit for me, and it really brings me back to Portland, which is Oregon, the O, and then as Griff told me later in the text too, when I told him which number I was going to choose, he also said, "Can't forget Ohio too," and he's right.
Kevin, Fred McLeod, Fox Sports Ohio, welcome to town. When Wes hooked up with Uncle Drew with those pocket passes, did you guys even entertain the thought of possibly playing together someday?
Of course, he's a tremendous player, both Uncle Drew and Kyrie, and Kyrie is the type of player I think that anybody would like to play with. He can really pass the ball. You mentioned the pocket passes in those great Pepsi Max spots, but also the way that he distributes the ball, the way that he gets up and down the floor, can shoot it, can get into the lane, finish with either hand. I mean, he just brings a lot to the table that I think anybody would love to play with Kyrie Irving.
Kevin, Rick Nolan from the Medina Gazette and the Leary Chronicle. Welcome to Cleveland.
Thank you.
What's it like having been in the league 6 years and not played in a playoff game? And do you think there'll be a big adjustment to learning how to play in the postseason?
I think there'll be an adjustment, from day one in practice. It's going to be, getting to, play with a lot of players in my, past 6 years. So just getting to, know the different players. Obviously I play with Mike. I know Sean well. James, I've got to know over the past few years. He obviously brought up the three-point competition, I believe, in 2012. Andy, I've known for a long time. LeBron, I really got to know at the London Olympics. Kyrie, obviously from the Pepsi Max spots, but also when he came into the league. I've been working with Dion in Los Angeles. So just an influx of guys throughout the entire lineup I've been able to know. So that'll make things easier as far as the adjustment period. But getting to your question, I think it will be somewhat of an adjustment playing in the playoffs. But LeBron and I have had conversations that I've needed to just mentally prepare myself for playing into June, and that's something that really struck me as something that I wanted to do. I mentioned that first conversation that we had on the phone. I told him that I was in, and everything in my entire life in the past 6 years has led me up to this point, and I'm excited and ready and optimistic for the opportunity.
What were those 6 years like, though, not being in the playoffs?
It was tough, but saying that I didn't enjoy my time in Minneapolis wouldn't be doing it right. I loved my time there. The people in Minnesota were great. The fans were great. They showed up, win, lose, or draw. And I really developed a lot of relationships all the way down through the organization, through ownership, through Flip. I mentioned management, players, all the way down to probably my best friend there, which is Clayton Wilson, the equipment manager with our team. But it was a great 6 years, and I enjoyed my time, and I can't say enough good things about it.
Tom Withers again, AP. Kevin, as you mentioned, you've been a teammate with LeBron. What is it like to be on the floor with him in terms of, opportunity, confidence, those kinds of things?
You mentioned the word opportunity. He just draws so much attention from the team that's out there, and more often than not, he's getting a double team, and sometimes a triple team. All eyes are usually on him because even if he doesn't have the ball, he's so good with moving without it. He can shoot it. He's really expanded his game as well. He's unselfish. He's an undeniable leader. So, I think as far as being inspired, I'm the type of guy that likes to be inspired. So learning from him and getting on the floor with him and just picking his brain is going to be, big for each and every one of us, not even, player-wise, but off the court as well throughout the organization.
He said a couple weeks ago that he had to kind of convince you to believe how good you can be. Is that true? Did he have to give you those kinds of pep talks?
I try to, exude a sort of confidence, because if you don't have confidence in this league, I truly believe that you're not going to get what you want out of it. So I've always had a lot of confidence. I know what I'm capable of, and I think I can continue to get better. I turn 26 next month. And as far as LeBron, I know he's talking about the time at the Olympics when he was usually sitting next to me, locker really close to me, and would always tell me, how good he thought I was. And for me, I would just kind of brush it off and shake it off, because I guess, I don't know if weary is the right word for lack of a better term, but I was just kind of standoffish because I didn't know him well. But I knew when we were at MJ's 50th birthday party in Houston when I was hurt at the All-Star game, that when he came up to me and pulled me aside, had the private conversation with me then, that's when I told him, and we had the conversation after his charity event, that I knew and I believed him then, what he thought of me. And it just goes to show you that things come full circle. I was the first call that he made after he had signed, and I'm very happy about that.
Kevin, Jason Lloyd from the Akron Beacon Journal. I want to clarify. Did you say he called you the day he committed?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
And kind of along the lines you were just talking about, he said he told you you were going to be the reason why they won the gold. And you've kind of touched on this already, but how much did that experience at the Olympics lead to this moment? How much was that sort of like the feeding ground maybe? I mean, no one could know this far in advance, but is that what sort of started the relationship between the two you guys?
Yeah, I think so, and we've also always had a common respect for each other as well. I always admired the way that he worked, and I got to see that firsthand really in 2012. But USA Basketball has done a lot of great things for me. You know, it's just kind of, it's bittersweet that I wasn't able to play, you know, this summer with them, but it's led me to this point and allowed me to be here, sit next to Griff, and be here in Cleveland. But you know, LeBron is a guy that you know I've admired, you know, since he came into the league. Everybody has watched since his high school days here in Akron, and you know, I can't say enough good things about him. So yeah, that was when the relationship really forged, and you know, I thought that, you know, one day maybe I could play with LeBron James.
Kevin, Tim Warsinski writing for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. You talked about your memories of Minnesota. How do you want the fans in Minnesota to remember you?
Just as a guy that you know, worked extremely hard, was good to the community, you know, tried to fit into that Minnesota nice lifestyle, and you know, I know that we had some rocky and bittersweet moments, which is, you know, kind of holds true for any player in the league. But you know, I hope that they'll tend to look at the good times like I do, you know, after this is all said and done.
When did you tell the Wolves that you were not going to resign, and what did you say to them?
You know, I'm not exactly sure because I didn't have that conversation. You know, I had that conversation with my agent, and he had talked to Flip and management.
About when was that? Do you know?
I don't know.
Hi, Bob Finan from the News Herald. How much pride do you take in the rebounding, and where did that outlet pass come from?
I take a lot of pride in the rebounding. You know, Bill Russell, I've said this in my 6 years in Minneapolis, and you know, almost said it my whole career that 80% of rebounds are below the rim. So you just have to be eager and willing to go after every ball, assume everything's a miss, and you know, that's really my approach to rebounding. And being out there with Andy, I was talking to Griff about it today, is going to be a lot of fun fighting for rebounds against him. And as far as the outlet goes, you know, I had Corey Brewer last year, who I loved throwing that ball to. You know, I watched him grow as a player, come back to the Wolves. He watched me, you know, grow up as well, and we were able to, you know, kind of have some sort of relationship and synergy out there on the floor that he knew when, you know, he contested a shot. If that ball went up and was missed, more often than not, I was going to get that rebound and outlet it to him. So we connected on a number of opportunities at the basket, whether it's a 3-on-2, 2-on-1, or, you know, 1-on-0 situation. So anytime we can get those transition buckets is going to be great. And you know, we're looking at a guy in LeBron James that could have been an all-pro receiver. So I was mentioning that I was Stafford and you know, Brewer was Megatron out there, but now we have a guy that fits more of the body description for him, so it'll be fun.
Kevin, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer. LeBron said earlier this month that he didn't know much about David Blatt, and when he was hired, he had to go to YouTube clips to find out about his offense. What do you know about Blatt?
I know from Griff that he likes a spacing 4, so I guess that helps me. No, I know that he was a you know, Princeton grad. He has coached 20-plus seasons overseas, had tremendous success over there. You know, I remember him when he coached the Russian team back in 2012, and you know, because this was all in the works, you know, early on after the draft, and when LeBron had signed, I tuned into Summer League as much as I could, and you know, kind of watched the ball screens up top, the different pick and pops, the flare screens. So that's going to be, you know, fun because we have so many shooters and so many unselfish guys on this team that are willing, you know, to shoot the ball as well as make that extra pass and distribute, get the hockey assist.
Kevin, Terry Pluto from the Plain Dealer. Suppose last summer somebody said to you, you would be in Cleveland playing with LeBron James.
I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it, what, 60 days ago, 90 days ago. So
I'm sorry? What would you say? You didn't believe it what?
I said I didn't believe it a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So no, it's pretty surreal, but you know, I know that there's a lot of expectations, and we also know that, you know, LeBron is the focal point, but we have a lot of damn good players, you know, 1 through 15 that are going to make a huge impact for this team.